Hello and welcome back to the workshop. This is an odds and ends video. I think it's the fifth one I've made. And if you're new to these odds and ends videos, there is no machining or woodworking or anything like that going on in these. It's just about updates, what I've been working on, and new stuff that's arrived in the workshop. Now you might be wondering where I've been for the last couple of months and why there's only been one or two videos. The new camera that I mentioned produces much bigger files, and that's had a knock-on effect with my video making system. I've had to upgrade the PC that I use for editing, and I've switched software to a much better piece of software called DaVinci Resolve. And long story short, I've pulled the rug out from under my own feet, and the old comfort zone I had with editing and making videos, I'm relearning everything. You might have thought I was losing interest, but quite the opposite. I've doubled down and I'm investing in my gear, and I'm trying to up my game and improve the quality of my videos. Now, the first new thing in the workshop is my Forme Industrious t-shirt. This is from the YouTube channel called Forme Industrious, which is run by Scott Turner, who's a chap up in Queensland, northeast Australia. He makes industrial furniture using timber and steel, and it's art more than anything. He makes some wonderful, beautiful designs, and he's not a stranger to hard work and creative problem solving, and his channel is pure joy. It's an inspiration, and I love it, and I think you will too. It definitely deserves your attention if you haven't seen it, so go over there and have a look, and I think you'll love what you see. Next new thing that's arrived is this sticker from the Eddies. Eddie Christie is in Georgia in the US, and he's got a channel called The Eddies, and he's making videos about machining and motorbikes and all sorts of things. And he really started his channel got busy with videos about 3 years ago, and there's a large back catalogue and I haven't watched them all, I'm afraid. But every video of his that I have watched has been entertaining and interesting.
So my wife worked in the other day, and I'm sitting here sawing on this same piece of metal. And she says to me, "Honey, why do you have so many vices?" And I looked around and I thought to myself, geez, I really need to delete my browser history more often.
Go and give him a look, and I'm sure you'll love what you see. Thanks, Eddie. This is the next thing that's arrived. This is a set of 3 engines from a friend called Dennis. Now, these engines had been sitting around collecting dust, and he thinks they may need some machining before they'll work. Now, I know nothing about model engineering, and I know nothing about how steam engines work, but I'm keen to have a go, keen to have a look, and I love figuring things out. So I'll have a look at these, clean them up, try and make them run, and yeah, that'll be good fun. I think there'll be some video-worthy moments in there. Thanks, Dennis. Next new thing was this pile of Tasmanian blackheart sassafras from Ian McDonald, who's a viewer of the channel. He's also local to me. Now, Ian's had this timber for 20 years or so. He seasoned it himself, and as is often the case, it didn't get used, so it's been given a new home. It's now here with me, and there's some nice thick bits here, 30-35mm finish size, so I think maybe they'll become a tabletop or something like that. Tasmanian blackheart sassafras is a softwood, and when a tree gets damaged, some kind of trauma like a lightning strike or wind damage or something, fungus can get into the heartwood of the tree and causes this lovely black-brown streak, and it's really striking to look at. Looks great. It's a beautiful indoor wood. It's not durable against rot or insect damage, but it's a very nice wood. It's used for fine woodworking, and it's quite common here in Tassie, and there's also some in Victoria. It's entirely different from the American wood sassafras. I think that's a deciduous hardwood, and it's used for its oil and all sorts of things, and they're totally unrelated. It's just a similar name. So thanks, Ian. That's fantastic. These bits of wood will not be wasted. Next thing is this pen from Glenn at Mancave Metals. Now, I've mentioned Glenn before on the channel, but if you want to see his website, which is relatively new, it's mancavemetals.com.au, and he services all of Australia, I believe. He sells things like brass and chromoly and aluminium and stainless, and he sells it in small quantities, which is ideal for the home workshop. So mancavemetals.com.au, and I think he's on Facebook and Instagram as Mancave Metal Supplies. So cheers, Glenn, for the pen. This video's not sponsored at all, except I've got a free pen now, so maybe it's sponsored by Glenn a bit. This is the next new set of items in the workshop. This is a new TIG Torch and TIG hose and gas lens setup, and I've bought a new pedal as well, and these go with my TIG welding machine. I bought my TIG machine in 2012, and I've been using the original equipment with it since then, and it's had a lot of use and it's looking a bit worse for wear. Now this torch is about half the size of the original that I had, and it's going to be ideal for getting into small spaces. So I'm really looking forward to getting this hooked up. There may even be a video about me setting up this torch and pedal, because the pedal is not actually for my machine. I'm going to have to do some adapting, and I'm going to have to change the plug on the end of the pedal, and I'm also going to have to adapt the gas hose on the torch. But I think it should all work, and yeah, it'll be great to get it done. Now here's what I've been up to for the last month or two in the workshop. This is a camera stand that I built and designed. It's a vague copy of an Asaba Foba, inspired by that design, but that's a much bigger steel heavyweight design. This thing is for getting interesting camera angles and moving the camera around quickly and not taking up as much footprint as a tripod. The whole thing's made of timber, and maybe I'll make a video showing you what kind of shots I can get and how the thing was made and the kinds of movements that it can do. Let me know below if you're interested in that. This is a welding square that I made. I was making some workbench frames for a paying customer, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But during the build, I realized I needed a welding square and I needed it quickly. And it's heavily inspired by the Fireball tool welding square. I think the guy's name is Jason, and he designed a square that you use to clamp workpieces together rather than just checking that they're square afterwards. You actually clamp your workpieces to the square. It's a nice strong design, and it holds them square during welding. And I realized this was probably a good idea, and I thought I'd try it out. And yeah, I can tell you that it's very much worth having one of these squares, and it's up to you whether your time is worth making one or not. I know you can buy a new one for between $100 and $200 US, depending on the size and material that you choose. But for me, it was worth making one because I had the materials around and I needed it at short notice. And you may have seen this on Emma's channel already, but I made a timber base for Emma's scale model Stuart 400 engine. It's made out of merbau, which is a tropical wood. I'm not sure where it's from, but I know that it's hard. It's as hard as nails, and it's durable. And we've cut it up according to Emma's design, and I've just put some finish on it and put it in a post bag for her, and she's made it look great. This photo is hers, and she's been building the engine for quite a while, and I think we're all keen to see it run. So please don't give up on that, Emma. We're looking forward to the end result. And thank you, Emma, for letting me join in with the project and add something to it. Now back to those workbench frames. This is just a still shot of the frames that I made, and these were designed to go into a shipping container and with an L-shaped bench on top. There were quite a few interesting lessons learned during this build, so if you're interested in a video with sort of general welding tips and tips for leveling feet and so on, let me know below and I might do a follow-up video on that. You may have seen the sign on the workshop wall which says "The floor is not a shelf." Now this isn't my idea. This comes from Jack Olson, and he runs the website called 12 Gauge Garage. And the idea was to keep the floor clean and to inspire himself to keep things tidy. I think some people have misread this sign and they see it as some kind of preachment or instruction that other people should not put things on the floor. Well, no, it's on my workshop wall, and the idea is really a prompt for me. It's kind of guidance or inspiration for me to try to keep the floor cleaner. I used to have a big problem with mess everywhere and things would get stored on the floor, and I realized one day, it hit me like a jolt of lightning, that if I could stick to this one rule, then my workshop life would be better. And when I look around, the floor is 99% clean now and I'm not tripping over things, so it works. and it's good. Got to remember this is a tiny workshop, lots of machines and cameras, lights, tripods, cables. I just can't afford to have stuff on the floor, or it would be even more unsafe than a workshop normally is. So yeah, don't read it the wrong way. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I'm trying to remind myself how to live mine. And in the spirit of that sign, here's a new sign. This one says clean my plate. And the meaning of this sign is to finish existing projects before starting new ones. Currently, I have a problem or something I'd like to improve, and that's that I have way too many projects going on. My table saw, bandsaw, welding table, grinding table, jointer, all have half-finished projects on them, and none of it has anywhere to live. I don't have enough space to store half-finished projects, and it's not productive, because if I want to use any of those areas, I have to shuffle things around, and it's just not good. So clean my plate is a really interesting thing that Tom said. He said it casually, it just rolled off his tongue. I immediately recognized it and knew that if I could remember it as casually and as fluently and as easily as Tom did, I'd probably have a much better time in the workshop. So I'm going to put that on the wall. I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to try and live by it. And I'm going to go through my unfinished projects list and try and nail them one at a time. And I'll make videos of anything that's video worthy. A similar way to restate the same concept is something that Scott Turner said. The same Forme Industrious Scott Turner. He did a short video for patrons only, and in it he said,
start a job, finish a job, so you can get on to the next thing as a reward.
And that really resonated, and I realized that I need to start living by that concept, because I've got so much on the go that nothing gets done, and I really need to fix the situation. So thanks, Scott, and thanks, Tom. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. Last time I did a video of some nature footage from Cradle Mountain, and Rob from Xanadu commented and said he really enjoyed his time at Mount Field National Park here in the south of Tasmania when he came to visit. And so that inspired me to visit Mount Field myself a week or two later. And I got some footage, so I'm going to leave you with that. And I'll see you in the next video. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I look forward to seeing you again.